Hello trips and welcome back to Hanning's Rest. Today's video I'm going to show you a couple of the things that I got at Model Railway Scotland. I went there with my birthday money and my month's Model Railway money, which as you know is 150 quid. So all in all I spent £392. My wife also bought me some stuff, and as usual she went mental because my wife says as good as holding on to money is water in a sieve, you know. So aye, she got me a couple of nice things and I'll show you them either in this video or in the next couple of videos or whatever, but I've got enough stuff here to cover at least 3 videos I think, possibly more. Alright, so I'm going to show you the first thing. The first thing I've got, well, mostly what I've got is locomotives. So I'll show you them, and I'll show you a couple of them anyway. Alright. Now here's the first one, well there's a box for the first one. It's Derwent Grange. As you can see it's a Hornby locomotive. It's a Grange class, which I've never heard of. And I got it from Ellis Clark Trains at Model Rail Scotland, and it cost me £60. As you can see, this one's been renumbered and renamed. Alright, that was the original name on it, and it's been renumbered and renamed, so I'll show you the instructions now. This is your standard instructions you get, but about the loco, how to look after it, how to run it and all that kind of nonsense. How to lubricate it, how to replace the motor, God knows why you want to know how to do that, how to take the body off, how to remove the coal load, etc. And how to fit the brake rigging, some safety tips and all that. Alright, so we'll have a wee look at the locomotive now. Oh, and you also get a thing for covering your DCC chip. It's a shrink fit thing. Very bizarre. And as you can see, it's quite well detailed. It's got metal handrails and all that on it. The copper top in the chimney and the copper safety valve cover. I think they're plastic. The whistles are metal. As you can see, it's been renamed, and the name has been applied not particularly well. It's been renumbered and covered in glue. But as I say, the model itself was looking okay. I'll have a wee look in the cab, a wee sec. There's the inside of the cab, which looks quite well detailed and stuff like that. I don't think a fucking firebox go in that. I think that's just an opening they've got in there to represent the firebox being open. Alright, on the top of the barrel. No mould marks. Reasonably well detailed, other than it's not all picked out on it. It's needing a bloody good dust. Again, this firebox dart's missing, but I can get one of them to replace it. The number being fitted on the smoke box door, badly. Well, the buffer being detail looks quite good. The lamp irons, etc. Turn around and have a look at the other side. A bit less glue around the number this time, it's just not on it very straight. The name still hasn't been fitted very well. Loads of glue on that. But apart from that, it's actually looking quite good. Let's say at running distance you'll not notice any of these marks, and once they're all weathered up and all that, you'll never notice it anyway. Right, on to the tender now. As you can see, the coal load does look quite good, especially coming through the chute there. The little buffers on the tender are really look like metal. Separately fitted handrails, etc. on this. The rivet detail's quite well done, as is the emblem. Quite well detailed along the side of the running plate, you know, and the chassis and that, the springs and that. It does have the sprung buffers, the back of the tender, the foot plates and that. You see, this thing needs a bloody clean, but that side's alright. A wee quick shifty underneath. As you see, all the brake gear and all that has all been fitted on it, I think. Yes, it has. And there's the scoop for the water. Well, there's got pickups and all the tender wheels as well, which is good. Right, I'll put this together on the track now and we'll see if it moves, alright. Trips there it is on the track. We'll turn it up now and see how it gets on, alright. And it's off. Oh, hang on. There appears to be a problem between the tender and the locomotive, because when you take the tender off, the locomotive runs really well. So I'm assuming there's a problem with the connection. I'll need to have a wee look at that. Yep. Okay. Guys, I was right, there's a problem between the tender and the locomotive. The connection was a bit duff. But that's it running now. Running great. So for 60 quid. Well, it's a reasonably nice looking locomotive. Excellent. That's it at 40 on the Gauge Master controller. That's running nice. Put a crew in that, some weathering on it. It'll look absolutely superb. So it negotiates these points, never, no, not a problem. Bit sticky on that bit there, but there's a few of them are a bit sticky on that bit. There we go. So I'll leave it to run round now while I look at the next one. Right, trips on to the second locomotive now, which as you can see is a Hornby Railroad model. And it is, or was, Tornado, which is a BR Class A1. Well, it came with the paperwork as well, your usual, or your gubbins. Just do this quickly, you know. How to lube it, changing bits of there, how to remove the body, how to fit a DCC chip if you're into that kind of thing, and how to fit the brake rods, your usual kind of nonsense. Alright. Now I said this was Tornado because this one has also been renamed badly again. I think it might also have been renumbered because they two digits at the end look like transfers. Anyway, we'll have a wee quick look on inside, right? And now this smoke deflector is loose. I'll glue that on properly at some point. It's quite well detailed, metal handrails, the boiler banding's quite nice, the valve gear and all that, the con rods and all that are all really well picked out, the wheels are nice, because a railroad model there's no glazing in it. Have a quick look at the cab, the usual sort of impression of it, none of it picks out, nothing sticks out. Alright, right, we'll have a look at the front end now. It has its wee number, but it's got the original number on the front there. Right, I'll just leave it. I can't be bothered messing about that. Well, it looks quite well detailed. There's no riveting on the buffer beams, I don't know if there ever was. There's no spring buffers on it. I don't know if that's meant to be a light or if it's a light bracket or what, but it's kind of odd. Anyway, on the top, what have we got on the top? Got a double chimney, some nice riveting, no mould mark, nice metal whistles. Safety valve, I should say. Nice metal whistle. The roof seems quite well up. The roof seems quite well detailed. Right. Have a look at this side. Yeah, it's very much the same as the other side, really, isn't it? The renaming has been done really, really badly again. But that's not to worry. Right, on to the tender. Quite plain printing, but well done. Moulded on handrails. All the gubbins underneath the suspension and all that's just all moulded on as usual. In the back, representation of light, some footsteps. It does have NM pockets on it, this railroad model, which is good. That side's much the same. The coal load is dreadful. Some representation of some detailing in there as well. Alright, trips, right, we'll try this one on the track and see how this one runs, alright. Right, trips, there's Tornado, Curlew, whatever you want to call it, on the track, right. We'll turn this up and see how it goes. And it's off. And it's incredibly quiet and smooth. Really nice runner. Superb. Right, this time then we'll try it through the points, eh? And right, here it comes. Try these points, see how it goes. Dead section on the track. That's better. Superb. As I say, guys, I've got enough stuff at the show to do 3, possibly 4 videos. So what days I'll leave this one here and now at that. Remember, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of junk. And as usual, I'll leave you with some running shots of these 2 trains going round. Alright. Bye now. Bye. On the next video, I'll probably look at a couple of diesel locomotives that I got. And maybe I'll look at something else that I got, I don't know. That was a slight derailment there because they changed the point over properly. Also got this one fairless clip for 60 quid. I don't know if I mentioned that at the start, but there we go.